Alrighty guys, Steph, Matt and Dan here for the Round 8 preview show. Matt's on the back burner today after his 2-minute round at the start of the review, so he's on managed minutes. So off to Steph with the ins and outs.
Yeah, how you going guys? Ins for this week we have Varco, Adams and Sinclair, some pretty big ins this week.
Finally.
Mature big ins, and unfortunately 3 big outs as well. We lose Reed with the shoulder, Broomhead with that ankle, and H gets omitted for the second time in a couple of weeks.
I'd say it's one big out. Reed, obviously, structurally he's a big out. Broomhead really hasn't been able to find continuity since he started at the club. He's had a lot of injuries. And Aish, I think it's a good omission. He's got to find his form. He's not going to be given games at this club.
Well, Broomhead's been pretty consistent in the VFL over the past couple of seasons.
Yeah.
Like he's
injuries.
We know what he's capable of. Aish, obviously come over from Brisbane. He's a.
You would have liked to see him play against his old mob.
He would have liked to as well.
Get a nice win against the Lions.
Well, it's a kick up the backside, you know.
I reckon he needs it. He only had the 10 touches against.
He has struggled. He struggles to find the footy on the ground, which is something I can't understand.
Just because you're brought to the club, you know, a bit of buzz around you doesn't mean you just cement your spot straight away, and he needs to earn it.
Runner up in the best and fairest 2 years ago at Brisbane.
Yeah, so he's been
and was a great junior player. So I can't get my head around it. Anyway.
Alrighty guys, so off to the lineup. So across the back 6 we've got Ben Sinclair, Jack Frost, Braden Maynard, Adam Oxley, Alan Tuvey, Josh Smith.
Frosty.
50 games for the big Frost. So good on him, and congratulations to him. Hopefully he shuts out Shaki, because I reckon that's what we'll end up with.
Not an overly tall forward line, Brisbane, are they?
Well, they've got Shaki and Walker are probably the two that they play as key positions, but neither of them scream out for a highly contested mark player or a really dominant figure in that forward line. So probably suited that we don't have
Collingwood have consistently struggled against small forwards.
So across the middle of the park, guys, we've got Varco and Sidebottom out on the wings, Treloar's in the guts, and then across the rucks we've got Grundy, Pendlebury and Adams. Pretty strong, isn't it?
Good to see Tay get back in there.
Some contested ball winners for a change would be nice to see.
Well, that's what Adams brings, and Varco obviously I think will help out, be another link between defensive and forward 50s, and he's a natural line breaker.
Takes a bit of pressure off Treloar as well, which is good. Okay.
Alrighty, and finally with the forward line we've got Degoe, Moore, Jesse White, Blair, Mason Cox and Alex Fasolo. What do we think there? Is Jesse White going to stay there? Are they going to play the 3-prong or is he going to go back?
Back line, has to play centre half back. Currently Tuvey's listed as our centre half back. I mean, if you have a look at that back line, without Jesse White there, you've got 5 medium-sized players.
Really hasn't.
You touched on Walker and Shaki. Although they're not established forwards, they're still big bodies.
Does that just sum up where we're at as a football club? We're relying on Jesse White to go at centre half back.
This is your game, Jesse, mate.
I'd probably give him a little bit of credit. He's not as bad as what everyone makes him out to be.
He did play forward though last week, and he kicked a couple of goals. But we had Reed and Frost, so I think we need him to go back.
I want to see him like a bullet again, just attack everything and really assert himself. He's got the physical attributes. I just want to see him do it on game day.
Alrighty, and finally with the guys on the pine, Greenwood, Crisp, Howe and Benny Crocker stays in the side for his second game. Good to see.
Yeah, good. He had limited opportunities last week as a forward.
Wasn't coming in very well.
Hard to drop him off the back of that, so he gets his opportunity this week.
Jeremy Howe, where does he play? Does he go forward or does he stay back? He played back last week, looked a bit more comfortable.
He might.
Read the play really well, 20 plus touches.
Where do you want to see him?
Look, we need goals, but I think he might stay back. I think it's more beneficial for the team if he stays back and mops up, and he's a good overhead contested mark.
He looked comfortable at stages last week when he came back.
He did. He confidently uses the ball well. He doesn't really second guess himself, which we saw that a lot last week, and we've seen through the entirety of this season. And he seems to back his ability and judgment. So I reckon he gets the gig in the back line.
Definitely, I think Greenwood's got a big response. He has a big response this week.
He does, yeah. He struggled a little bit last week and has struggled at stages this year. I think it's his decision making that at times lets him down. His endeavour can't be questioned. He's hard at the footy and he gives 100% effort. It's just the decision making. At times he'll overexert himself in a tackle and give away a free kick, or he'll get the ball out of a clearance situation too quickly, and it'll just end up in a turnover.
Yeah.
And those sorts of decisions hurt us.
Yeah.
So
The ruck. Big Stefan Martin, the deadlift king, he's going to be hard to combat. We know Grundy, we've said it a couple of times, that opposition ruckman can get in his head. It's a big task for him, really
Massive.
big. Especially now that Witts is back in the VFL, he's got a bit of pressure on him for the position of the number one ruckman. So he needs a big game.
two areas we struggled last week: the ruck and the ball movement. Ruck's a big one you've just touched on, and the ball movement. I'm absolutely thrilled to see Varco back in the side, because the one thing we struggled with last week was moving the ball quickly. Varco back in, I want to see that pace from defensive 50 to forward 50.
Let's just pray to God he doesn't do his hammy again.
Yeah. Make sure you tune in this Saturday night to support the Pies. It's Bucks' 100th game. Let's get behind him and see the boys get a win. Go Pies!